welcome to the stream. How are you all doing today? Just in time for the Survivor finale. That is what we are here for. Hopefully you can see me. Hopefully you can hear me. And then hopefully I want... Okay, I think that's working the way that I want it to. Yeah, I have no idea what the situation is in terms of the interruption. I think the episode will start and then will be interrupted, and then the finale will continue. So, yay for us! We have an even longer Survivor finale than normal. But we are here. I spent the day, really the whole day, recording some Patreon content. Very excited about that. I finished the Traders Canada, so that'll be coming out in the coming days. Finished recording it at least. Paramount says Survivor's going until around 11:22. Well, here we are. The episode's on already. This is where we are. And this is what it sounds like.
After 2 tribe swaps, those original tribe colors were...
I feel like it's been one of the most unpredictable post-merges I've ever seen. Is wild considering the context of this season. All right, I do have food to eat. I do. Thank you, Chanel, for the 19th month. Thank you, Alexander, for the $2. Enjoying the book club on Patreon. Thank you so much. 4-Leaf, thank you for the 24th. And then it didn't matter. So here's the thing. This is my perspective at this point. I think there's only two possible winners. And I'm honestly not sure which one wins. What a turd. He assumes he wins the jury vote. I think if Rizzo gets rid of Savannah, he's got a guaranteed win. It doesn't matter though, because Rizzo has an idol. Immunity is going to be massive. If Savannah wins immunity, Sophie can't choose. She's forced. Which is why she needed to make a play earlier. And more importantly, take the idol for herself. All right, here we go. Mini challenge to get an advantage for immunity. This is like the worst part of every finale. Actually, I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's one of the worst parts of every finale. Here's the challenge for the advantage for the challenge. It's the pre-challenge. Pre-challenge challenge. The fact that this exists and is apparently a staple is proof that they don't need 3 hours for a finale. And in fact, shouldn't have three hours for the finale. She's talking like she loses in confessional. Yeah, I mean, why not? Honestly, it's such an easy puzzle. I don't think you even need to cheat. Huh. Rizzo walks up. Back to the mat? Or the map? The X is on a branch on the map. I think Savannah's or Sage is gonna get it. Oh, except she's saying it out loud. Yeah, Sophie, you just randomly came upon that thought on your own. Nobody told you. What an out of the box thinker. Just climb. Oh, I see. They probably don't want you to climb. Massive L for Sage there. That's it. What a commercial. All right. So, lots of strategy to talk about, right, guys? Oh, boy. I feel like old school Survivor, you would have had to climb the tree. You know what I mean? Instead, they give him a big pole. I went climbing, by the way. First time in a while. I was a little nervous because I was like, I'm going to suck. I've like climbed like 3 times in the last 4 months. But I didn't suck. I was still pretty good. Look at that. My fingers got tired a little quickly, I will say. But other than that, good stuff. Enjoyed it. Do I have a halftime show planned for the speech interruption? I honestly have no idea what I'm going to do at the moment. All you think about is Ape Index ever since I did a great talk during my physical Asia post. Genuinely, most physical activity I see is like through the lens of climbing. Give a book club preview. If you're not following along on the Patreon, I am doing a book club chapter by chapter through Behind the Mirror. We've gone through the first 3 chapters. And on Friday, I'm going to be doing chapter 4, Community, which is a chapter that was written about the very early days of the Big Brother community with interviews from Hamster Watch. And tying it into the story of Jennifer and Kaser on season 6 of Big Brother. Maybe like climbing, would you have fitness goals more generally? Just looking good, being healthy. You know, the usual. We're back. Sorry for the no predictions at the moment, but I'm focused on the burrito. Have I ever done competitive climbing? No. I'm a little bit interested. I would not do particularly well, especially because I'm very slab focused. I'd be competitive in slab, suck at everything else. So it's almost like what's the point? But also I'm not sure I would like it. What I like about climbing is how chill it is. There's no real pressure. I did watch Olympics. Heavily invested, I was. I've been trying to buy that Yanya Brooke signed poster. Keeps selling out before I can. If you had said Chipotle burrito, I would have lost my mind. Ooh. The mud there was wild. This is the right time to do mud because I know who they are now. I will be able to recognize them. Wow, Sophie's really struggling. Did Christina end up drinking it? So far, this is a challenge I think I'd be good at. If Rizzo has no hustle, I get it. They're starving. But Savannah has more hustle. You can see she moves faster. I'm spoiled, been watching too much Physical Asia. I'm surprised Savannah's so far behind. This felt like her challenge. I mean, I guess what really would be her challenge would be, oh no, oh no. Um, Jeff, she might have just broken her ankle. Jesus. Can we have somebody look at this, please? That was a nasty fall. He's so far behind. All right, yeah, Christina looks fine. I mean, there's no way they would have aired that if she wasn't fine. Woo! Yikes! That was another nasty fall. That was a hard hit to the head, and that could not have been great on the neck either. Not to mention the coccyx. I don't actually know what that is. I just know Dr. Mike says it all the time when people fall. The tailbone. That's what I assumed. I mean, for us, the most interesting scenario is probably Savannah not winning. Because Savannah wins, Rizzo uses idol. From there, it's like, you know, I don't know who she's tying with. Harv? Um, Rachel? Really? Rachel did win a bunch. Chrissy. Harv was not true, apparently. Kim makes sense. Oh, here we go. Wild that two of them came from the last like 3 seasons. Full on jury management mode. Great decision. She doesn't need to care about anything else at this point. He can't vote her out anymore for the rest of the game. All right. Here, I'll do a prediction here. We'll do does anyone say jury management? I want that exact phrase. Jury management in the next segment. Does still work. I mean, surely it's going to be Rizzo, Savannah, Sophie, vote out Sage. Right? If Rizzo and Sophie were adamant about not letting Savannah get to the final 3, they might choose to vote out Christina over Sage in the hopes that Sage might be more competitive with Savannah in a final immunity challenge. But at that point, you're banking on you then having to potentially beat Savannah at fire. If that even did work, you know? And you know, that's just tough. It's just tough. We are 30 minutes in. That means we are roughly 1/6 of the way through the night, but that is not including the break. I guess the question we should be asking right now is, does this mean Savannah wins? Here's what at this point, I think the edit and the returning cast thing have coincided. I've spoiled this in the past. I'm going to again because at this point, what else are we doing here? So if you don't want to know who comes back for 50, you're going to find out later tonight anyway, I'm sure. But I'm also going to say it now. It's Rizzo and it's Savannah, which has really not helped in the unpredictability, as Jeff was trying to describe, of the season. The question for me now is, because at this point, not only are they, because I genuinely, I did not think one of them were going to be a winner. I thought that they would be two big characters from the season. I didn't think one of them would win. But now, based on the edit, I'm convinced that they are the only two people who can win. Which means one of them comes very close and the other one likely wins. which makes me wonder, is it going to be Rizzo and Savannah comes up short, like maybe loses the final immunity, loses fire making, and it's like, wow, she came so close, but Rizzo wins. Hold on, back. Because I think if she makes it, I think she wins a jury vote. But losing finalist isn't like a great returnee positioning when you, I don't know. That's a great pitch from Christina. It's a great pitch. It's a great pitch because it's a correct pitch, in my opinion. Okay, Christina's good at fire. That's important information as well. I'm sorry, Sophie. You missed your shot. I agree. I mean, it kind of is up to you. The two of them can make the decision. It doesn't matter what Savannah thinks. Are they not going to bathe first? I could never. Man, not even Savannah can call it jury management. She has mud in her teeth. Oh, I forgot she, yeah, right. She has another chance to win immunity and break the record. I cannot do anything but focus on the mud. It's so distracting. Yeah. Ah. Oh. We don't like Christina is a wild statement. Who cares? There's literally no reason to care. There's no more voting that happens after this. Unless Rizzo thinks Savannah will bring him, not make him make fire. But I think at that point he's probably lost anyway. And Sophie continuing to tank her jury chances, in my opinion. I think the waffling is terrible jury management. I mean, I'll say this. I think that if Rizzo and Sophie do vote out Christina over Sage because Savannah wanted them to, you have to give it up to Savannah. She clearly deserves it over the two of them. If they vote out Sage against Savannah's wishes, it does help the narrative that like Savannah was more of a challenge winner than a mover and shaker. So there's that angle to it as well. Um, which I think is like also very important to recognize when you're there. Nobody said jury management. I didn't hear it. Anyone hear it? I don't think the rest of this cast is that locked in. You know what I mean? Next prediction. Will Rizzo actually use his idol? Yes, no. That's the prediction. Because here's the thing, he doesn't have to. Nobody's voting for him. Oh, you know what? And then, yeah, there is the other option. He could use the idol. This actually is. Yeah, you know what? This counts as anybody. Does he use it on anybody? He could use it on Christina and force Sage out. That'd be a great play. That would really, that he'd finally use the idol in an effective and impressive way that was proving that he has his own game separate from Savannah. And further proves his fearlessness when it comes to not using the idol. Because I think that you could argue that a lot of his non-use of the idol came from just not knowing that he was in danger. But I think this playing it in that way would really cement that he knew what he was doing the whole time. If he doesn't play it at all to showboat, to be like, I don't even need to play it, I think that's too much. I think he's played around with it too much. I think he should use it, and it should be used either on himself or on Christina. We all know what happens with unused powers. I guess it worked for Marianne. But people didn't know she had that one. So she was effectively able to use it, but just in a different way. Jeff's gonna stop talking about records. It's game interference. Tell us, not them. She's already doing her speech. Christina is me on a podcast. I'm trying to like not run too long. Is really easy, guys. No need to go into metaphors. No need to side discussion anything. I think it was fair. It was more than fair for Christina to bring that up. Um, but she didn't she make that decision? I mean, I think Christina has by far made the better case, but that doesn't mean that she's gonna be the better. It doesn't mean she's gonna be like more likely to draw votes. Is this what you want, Jeff? You want two people as the only two possible options for vote out? Two people who don't really have a great shot to win anyway? Two people arguing that they are actually not very good and therefore they should be taken? The real nail biter here is will they finish reading the votes before they get interrupted? All right, Rizzo. He played it. Savannah just looked like she was surprised that there was a sage vote, but that could have been from anything. We kind of always knew there'd be two. Wow. All right. Give it to Savannah. Give it to Savannah. Kudos. Give it up. Let's wrap this thing up. It's over. Okay. So we are about to be interrupted. I'm not entirely sure for how long. Hopefully, just like 10 minutes, 22 minutes, perhaps. That would be 22 minutes. What are we doing for 22 minutes, bro? Can the dude even talk for that long? Like, you know what I mean? You gonna be standing the whole time? Because I don't know. Um. So yeah, we'll just hang out. Feel free. We can do a little bit of like an impromptu Q&A, perhaps. We could talk about the book. We could talk about whatever. We played Mafia last night. I was robbed. I wouldn't say I was robbed. I thought I was playing pretty well. Honestly, I do think I got a little sniped out of the game. I should have anticipated, because the thing was, I didn't think Michael really suspected me. And I didn't expect him to vote for me twice in a row. I figured Keanu was a wild card. I didn't think he'd necessarily jump on. I was a little worried about Shaheen, but I figured Shaheen would be smart enough to vote one of the two. Because, like, okay, from my perspective, it was really like what happened was, we took out a mafia member out of nowhere, which is incredibly useful because the mafia weren't prepared to know that they needed to not vote for that person. And so I figured it would be wild to vote out anybody other than Asia or Jerry, because the odds that like every single mafia member voted for a fellow mafia member when their name had only come up that one round was like, just the odds of that are so low. Which is part of why I was so surprised that Asia felt like that was not a valid line of thought. And I figured there'd be enough people that would like obviously want to go in on that, because I figured like even for somebody like Michael, who is trying to deflect from his own murder by saying my name, wouldn't then also vote for me in a round where we were potentially going to take out another mafia member in a row. So, you know, I really did not think it was going to happen that round. And so my biggest regret was that like I had played it so quiet, which I felt like was the right call, because it kept me alive for so long. I'm somebody that has historically gone out very early in these games, and I was feeling bad because I was like, genuinely, what I will say is I was kind of relieved when I was voted out, because I was sitting there that round thinking, I've played this so optimally and so boring, and when we vote out Asia, she will either be mafia or not. And if she's not, it's Jerry. And if she is, we still probably vote Jerry. And then I'm my big leading theory is that Hannah's the other one. And I was worried that the game would just be broken, and that it would just end, and that it would be very lame. So I was very conflicted, I will say. Because my primary goal when I played those kinds of games, like, they're throwing me in as a ringer. You know what I mean? Like, people are there to watch the reality stars. I'm there to make a good show. The reality, they're there to like win. I can jump on one of these things whenever I want. I play these games every weekend. Like, I'm not there to win. It would be lame if I won. You know what I mean? I'm there to help facilitate a good time. And so that's what I've usually approached it with. The problem is with games like this is that if I go in trying to have a good time, I just get immediately voted out. So I was like, I'm going to wait this time. I'm going to test my skills and actually try to play, and then at some point break out and start having a good time. And unfortunately, I missed the transition. I just mistimed it. I really thought I had one more round. HG, thank you for the 23rd. It was so effective, though, you know? It really is a shame. Like, I literally was like, this is so it's so obvious what happens every time is that like you just vote out the people that are being vocal. Those first few rounds of a mafia game, when you've talked to people for like 5 minutes with no murders yet, it's literally just like, whose name has been said or who has been talking. If you say something and you don't say somebody else's name, then you're one of the only people who said something and they'll vote you out. If you say something and you say somebody else's name, then it turns into it's either you or the person whose name you said. Either way, it's bad. And so you need to like not really do much. And then the second round, I was like, okay, maybe now. But then the second round, we still hadn't gone anywhere. So I was like, okay, we're still in a bad spot. And so then it was like, okay, maybe the third round. But then, you know, and you know what it was too? When Michael said my name the first time, I was like, ooh, I think I could actually go the distance here. Because I was really expecting to die soon. And so that made me risk another round of being a little more quiet. Um, but I should have just gone for it. Should have just gone for it. Chanel, thank you for gifting sub. Hannah was hoping I'd be picked for Mafia. Aw. If I had known that Chada was gonna be, I shouldn't call her Chada when there's two Chadas. If I'd known Hannah was gonna be Mafia, I would have wanted to be Mafia. Um, I submitted my trader's preference. I said I don't want to be Mafia for the reasons I talked about. I don't want to be the star of this thing. Like in a game with Jerry Manthe and Hannah and like all of these people, like, you know, I don't want to hog the spotlight. You know what I mean? I don't want to like be a mafia member and then like try to play optimally the whole time and just like best case scenario, I dominate and it's lame and boring. Worst case scenario, or not in a worst case scenario, in terms of like my performance, or I just get immediately voted out like I normally would anyway. And then the game is tanked because a mafia member failed immediately. So I just like I don't want the game to hinge on me in that way. I want the game to go well. But if I had known Hannah was gonna be Mafia, then I would have happily run with Hannah. Also, apparently they randomized the third one anyway, so I still could have been, I guess. She never suggested. Did anyone suggest murdering me? I didn't actually go back and watch it. Ever. See, that makes me feel even better about not saying her name. Because I figured there were people on that cast that would murder me. I think Asia would murder me. I think Michael would murder me. I think Shaheen would think about it. But I'm not sure. I don't know how much he knows me. Who else? I'm trying to remember. Basically, most people who know me would think about murdering me. And I thought Hannah might be on that list. Shannon, I don't think she could murder me, but I think Shannon would keep me around a little bit. I don't think she'd insta murder me. Asia, I would have been unsure about, but we got into conflict in the game, so that she was so quick to to vote me. I wouldn't have voted her, so I'm not sure she's on the same page in that regard. I did, by the way, think about pre-gaming, because I thought it would be funny. But then when I saw the cast, I was like, again, I don't want to. I don't want to commandeer this. I don't want to take over this game. I want the spotlight to be on the stars. Who would I pregame with? I mean, I could have pregamed with a bunch of people, theoretically. Pregaming just would have been contacting them beforehand and then making a deal. Basically, in my mind, I had pregame alliances with the people that you might have noticed this. The Big Brother people and the podcasters, I basically never targeted. And then once we started to get down to it, I think Jerry was the only survivor I also wasn't gonna target unless I had to. I'm trying to remember all the survivor players. I was sad that Will went out so fast. I still don't even really get how that happened. Oh yeah, I wasn't gonna target Shaheen because we got that regulation connection. But also, I didn't end up targeting anyone. Not really. Yeah, Miles was great for me. I was sad that Miles died. That was the reaction that Simone thought I was bad because of my reaction. Because I was scanning, I immediately noticed that Miles was gone, and I was like, shit. And then I think by the time it was announced, I was like already smiling at my misfortune or something along those lines. What's my favorite Christmas song? I honestly don't know. I genuinely feel like with these games, I think there are a few things I would do differently. I say this like I couldn't suggest them, but it's not my thing. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. But I think that I would not have a first night vote out that quickly. Because I don't think it's that interesting to watch. I certainly don't think it's interesting to play. And I think it's, especially for the players that we're reaching out to, the reality people, it's like they said yes, they didn't have to. They took time out of their night, like they took a 3-hour chunk of their night and dedicated it to this, and then they're gone in 5 minutes without being able to do anything. In that sense, maybe me as the sacrificial first boot wouldn't have been that bad. Didn't think about it that way, because I was fine going out first the last time. I just figured, genuinely, I was just thinking like, if I go out first twice in a row, people are gonna think I'm actually bad at this. So I was like, I just need to not go out first. Uh, um, but I think that I think there are some things you could do that are like, you know, you vote a person out in the first round, but you're kind of basing it on nothing. Or maybe it's like you vote for somebody, like the first vote isn't actually an elimination. Like the first vote puts somebody in danger for the next round, maybe, or like you vote for somebody to be immune in the first round instead. Maybe it's like, hey, we're voting for giving somebody safety tonight. Because like the balance of like, oh, you vote somebody out before the mafia even kills anybody, it's like that's not really that important. I think that getting a kill in first gives you actual information to potentially try to go after as well. So, um, just kind of like prevent somebody from being insta booted from the game on no information. It's tough too because it's like the game really does not incentivize you to be entertaining, is what I really realized over the course of that one. Um, so I'm trying to think about like what would stop that from happening a little bit, but I don't think there's much you could do if you want to play just straight Mafia. Mafia is not designed to be a streamed game, you know, it's designed to be a played game. Um, so being entertaining is not like an aspect of it. Um, Also, I remember thinking that introductions go a little too long sometimes. I didn't feel it when I was there, but when I've watched it in the past, I felt like, all right, we can move on. Man, he's really still going, huh? I genuinely, I couldn't think of a worse addition to a Survivor finale night that I'm already not excited for. Would I do a traders live stream watch? But I am. So on Patreon, I will be doing traders once that starts up. I am also doing Jet Lag, which dropped its first episode today on Nebula. Oh, are we done? I think we're done. Not quite done. It's mostly done. It, what are we doing? What? Moments ago. Yeah, we just watched it. Well, I mean, theoretically, we just watched it. And I guess they knew it was exactly 22 minutes. All right, come on. And now there's commercials. Oof. Well, I guess it started right after the episode cut to commercial, so we never got the commercials from post vote out. All right, I'm gonna be right back. Bud? Hello. How you doing? Coming to watch Survivor? Oh, we're back. Episode's finally back. Oh, right back into a challenge. Are we not even gonna get any explanation from Rizzo and Sophie as to why they made the decision they just made? 15 minutes of buildup of Rizzo being like, I have to do this for my game. I have to do this for my game. And then he doesn't. And then nothing. Hmm. We have had predictions, but I think I'll avoid it on this one. Whoa. Hmm. Sophie should have tried it, I think. I feel like she's got it. She's just not squeezing. Why do they start testing like a bunch of random skills right at the end when all of the other immunity challenges are like stand on a thing on one leg while holding your arm above your head? Now stand on a different thing, but with your knees tucked and holding two hands over your head. Now stand on a thing while balancing a ball on a circle. Then out of nowhere, it's like, okay, maneuver a ball with handles through an egg, through a cage. Plus, squeeze through a tight spot in sand. Plus the ball maze thing. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, again, we wrapped it for Savannah ages ago, so she might as well break the record. It'd be nice to have one person holding the record, you know? I just don't see any world where they edit Rizzo on that vote the way that they did and then not even have him explain it afterward, or at least immediately afterward, and then he still wins. 5 is the total record, right? With men included? See, this is kind of why I feel like Jeff may have jumped the gun talking about it on the island. I feel like it's more impressive to be like, oh, she tied the overall record and broke the record for women. Now it's like she tied the women record. Now she broke the women record and also tied the regular record. It's also like, what do the records really even mean? The challenges nowadays are so different than they used to be. I think, understandably, the best comparison is Rachel. She competed in the same era. Woo! If Sophie wins this, puts Savannah into fire making against Sage, and Savannah wins because they didn't take out Sage and keep Christina to beat Savannah, and then Savannah wins. It really is just icing on top of bad decision over bad decision. Man, the record was the one thing I was hoping to get from this episode. I didn't even know I wanted it until just a second ago. Literally, genuinely, I think, I mean, I could be wrong. I feel like if Sophie steals Rizzo's idol with knowledge is power, I think she straight up wins the game. She plays the idol at 5, she wins immunity at 4. As somebody, listen, this is me sitting on the jury watching the game play out. I would have been sitting on that jury saying Sophie is my number one pick to win. I said as much a few episodes ago. I said the edit's focusing more on Savannah and Rizzo, but like I feel like Sophie's played better. She had more to overcome. She had more connections. She was safer. I think she's playing a better game. And if she makes it to the end, she's the one I'm voting for. However, this is me. This is me. That's me as a juror. I can only give my perspective as somebody who's sitting on that jury, pretending to sit on that jury. The second I watch that tribal when she plays that knowledge is power, and it's not to take Rizzo's idol, it's to take Steven's block a vote, and she doesn't even get it, and it wouldn't have even mattered anyway, I can't ever cast my vote for her to win. As a juror, I went from she's my top pick to I will vote for anybody but her. I just can't. That performance at Tribal, I'm sorry. I just can't do that. If she uses it on Rizzo, I was already going to vote for her. Or even if, even if she never uses it, and I never knew she had it, I'm still voting for her. That's my perspective, at least. I don't care about Rizzo's idol. I don't care about Savannah's immunity wins. I was impressed by her social game. But you can't be doing that. You can't be making the wrong choice to not steal the idol in the first place and then get it wrong in making the wrong choice. And then it wasn't even a factor, even if you had been right. Even if you had been right, it didn't matter and it was a waste of your power. It's the trifecta. We're back. Then when Sage votes out Steven, I'm having a harder time voting Sage, but she's still a possibility. When Rizzo votes out Christina, I'm thinking, okay, Savannah's running that tribe. And as of right now, I'm a jury vote for Savannah. I mean, that's what the edit is telling me to think, at least. Everyone else is seemingly screwed up in big ways. I just feel like Savannah doesn't own it in confessionals, which annoys me. I feel like she's got a great attitude in game, but in confessional, she's like, no, I'm disappointed in her. It's the right move to take me to the final three. No, it's not. Come on. I feel like her gameplay is so like non-apologetic, but then her confessionals just don't match. I mean, to give in fairness to Savannah, her reaction seems to be that like she genuinely just believed in Sophie and thought that they were best friends and that Sophie was locked in with her the whole time, and so she's kind of just feeling hurt. But still, to say it's the best move to take me to the end. I mean, that's what everybody says. I appreciate Christina getting voted out and being like they made the right call. And I'm sick of this. I'm sick of people making it to the final three being like, man, fire? I've barely even done that. Yeah, that's the right call from Rizzo. I mean, Rizzo, you know what would have been more effective here? If you had Christina there to take out Savannah. We still haven't heard at all why he changed his mind. It's actually wild to me that they didn't explain the reasoning. All right, what do we do for a prediction here? Which side does Savannah sit? No, I can't do that. Which side wins in fire? The right side or the left side? This is facing their face. Not from where they're sitting, but from our perspective facing them. That makes sense to you? Which side wins fire? Right side, left side? Oh. Hold on, we lost what happened here? Hold on, can Patreon hear me? It's all flipped now. What happened? It's like it changed inputs. That's weird. I didn't It's like it saw the prediction and said, I'm gonna mess with the Patreon people. I'm gonna flip left and right. I don't think I can get it back. Also, I think you're just gonna have to remain flipped, Patreon. I apologize. I can't edit it back to the other way. I look normal? I'm flipped on my end. All the text is backwards. That's not what you see? Weird. Okay, let me make sure you can hear everything properly though. Can you hear this? No. Okay, that's a problem. That's a problem. Let me try this. Can you hear this? Yes. Okay, do you hear it fine? It's fine. Okay. Sorry to the Twitch and YouTube people. Had to do a little bit of technical difficulties there for the Patreon. It was a little loud. Okay, I can try and adjust that as well. All right, we're back. Let me know if like that's better. All right, the majority thinks left side will win. Sound is weird. Yeah, I was worried about that. Hopefully it's not too weird. Yeah, this is what used to happen. I'll try to work on a next commercial. One of the women. Yeah, that was the only call. Z, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube. I think the winner of Fire wins the game, and I think the winner of Fire is Savannah. Those are my predictions. And there's a decent chance that this is a dramatic fire making challenge, given that they brought both of these people back. I'm super loud versus the show now. I turned it up. Oh, we're commercialing. Okay. Okay. Um, Patreon. I have two options. We can keep it as is, or I can end the stream and turn it back on, which should fix it. What is your preference? This is just for Patreon, by the way. YouTube and Twitch, you should be fine. All right, we're gonna restart. I'm gonna end it now. If you're watching this after the fact, I'll have a separate post for part 2, essentially. You can find that. I apologize for the difficulties. All right. Sorry about this, guys. I'm gonna create a new post on Patreon. Okay. We are back here on the Patreon. Things should hopefully be working properly now. This is part 2 of the Survivor finale with a working stream. We just saw Savannah and Rizzo chosen to go. I'm gonna actually briefly, if you're watching on Patreon, spoilers for the episode. We're halfway through. We just saw Savannah and Rizzo chosen to go to fire. The winner of this fire making challenge very likely will go on to win the game. We will see which one does. I still just can't help but feel that if Christina was in the game, she would have been the pick to make fire against Savannah and Rizzo would have been fine, but things are as they are. All right, who's on what side? I wasn't paying attention. Savannah is left side. The audience has pre-chosen that they think Savannah has a 53% chance of winning. I will say my prediction is Savannah, but I don't think it's impossible that it's Rizzo. My biggest thing is this very episode where he made this decision and they haven't really explained it. But like, you know, it could always be the sort of thing where like it was a boneheaded decision, but it didn't cost him the win, therefore we're not going to dwell on it. The jury's cheering for him too much. It's looking grim for Rizzo. It's not impossible to come back. Wind has come into play pretty significantly in the past. We're seeing it a little bit in play here. He's not very good at... This is about to be over unless something changes. Yeah, he's got too much wood there. It's nah, it's barely there. Yeah, I don't think this is even close. So much for dramatic fire making. I mean, yeah, Savannah's is not going out anytime soon. It's about to be over. And there it is. My guess is it was the. I think the whole season has been a thing of like. We don't want Savannah to win, but if she gets there, we have to give it to her. Left side did in fact win fire. Look at that. I think you have to be a little bit lenient toward um people who play their season and feel like it's very meaningful in the history of the show. The wild thing to me is when people don't know the history of the show and think that they're like have the gall to say it was. Um but I think if you say like I am the greatest of all time, or if you say like this was the most of all of Survivor, like I think it's fair to be like, I made my mark on the game. I played like I'm a legend is a bit presumptive, but I get why somebody might feel that in the moment, experiencing their own thing, you know? When was the last time we had an all-female final three? I actually don't know. Does anybody know? San Juan del Sur. San Juan del Sur was Natalie. Um, what was her name? What was her name? Missy. Yeah, Missy and Jacqueline. I couldn't remember if it was Missy or um if it was the mom and the daughter. Missy or Muffin, exactly. A raid. Hold on. I think I missed from Morgan. Yo, what's up? We are currently doing a watch party for the Survivor finale. Welcome in to the Raiders. I do this a lot here. These are watch parties we do on Twitch. The episode's playing. You can't see it or hear it because Twitch doesn't like that. But you can have it on while you also have me on. You get a little bit of both. However, this is a little under the table deal I got going on. Head over to Patreon. You see something a little different. What? What was that? No, nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. So right now we're in commercial. If you don't want to be spoiled on the Survivor finale, if you haven't been watching and you plan to watch, we will be talking about it very soon. Fair warning. But thanks for the raid, Morgan, if you're still here. Hope I didn't miss a message. Hope you're doing well. I'm trying to see if I missed him. I don't think I did. If you're a Morgan viewer, you can let her know if she's not here. I'm down to play games. If she ever wants to play. Especially now that Survivor is not going to be on. Got to do something on Twitch, you know what I mean? We're back. We're back. They brought it back. It became relevant. Oh man, for a moment I thought we were 45 minutes away. Then I remembered not an hour away yet. We got interrupted. I do think Sage has an argument. I think it's not like an amazing argument as much as it used to be because she lost control of the game a while ago. But I think she has an argument. I think she has more of an argument than Sophie at this point. And she's got Jawan on the jury stumping for her. But I think it's going to be just really tough to fight against the very powerful thing of nobody wanted Savannah to win, but you all let her get there. Well, it was until they gave away that power is the problem. I hope he gets a chance to come back in the episode. I would like this segment more if it wasn't so obviously like staged to make it seem like anyone could win. How did he get 5 years younger? Listen, I'll say this: having met Rizzo in person, I feel like he's upped his game. He's looking great. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be interviews with everyone. Jawan really milking the horror movie analogy. It actually might have been a bad call to put Rizzo into fire because Rizzo being gone places a strong advocate on the jury for Savannah. He can effectively give Savannah credit for everything he did, which may or may not be true in the first place. Part of the final hour includes the reunion, yeah. But we kind of have to watch because of the preview for the next season. About an hour left. Just a normal episode of television left. Although commercials tend to come fast and loose in the final hour. Yeah, an hour because of the break. Remember the break? We got Final Tribal coming. Prediction? Let me see. Can I think of a prediction? Is there mention of the immunity record by anybody in the next segment? Have we done the 50 draft yet? We did, didn't we? I think we did. I don't know if we did. Did we? We did some kind of yeah. We did a who's gonna be on 50 draft. Did we also do a regular draft? We did. It's on Patreon for now. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I have no clue who I drafted. I have genuinely no idea. I completely forget what happened in the draft. Christian, Christian. That tracks. Outside of Christian, I have no idea. Oh, I'm actually so happy we already did it. That's like finding out that you already that like you're like, "Oh, I've got homework coming up." And then you realize, "Oh no, I did it already." What a glorious feeling. I've never felt that. Doesn't happen to me that often, I'll tell you that. I mean, they basically my day today was trying to prep for next week for the Patreon stuff. I'm trying to minimize the amount of work I have to do next week because I'm trying to kind of take a week off. So I'm trying to record as much as possible ahead of time. Not sure yet what I'll do about the book club, especially since I already had to miss one for the Mafia. And we're back. I drafted Christian Jonathan Aubrey. Why did I draft Jonathan? Oh, because of all the bros. I remember now. Man, I must have been starving for choices on that second pick. No way. He must have been my third pick, right? I think that's fair from Sophie. It's a good answer. She just at some point needs to answer the knowledge is power situation. That's a bad answer. My immunity. I mean, she's not wrong, but my immunity wins were for the group is kind of a wild thing to say. A final tribal. I feel like that didn't land. I like the intent behind it. but it feels like it's too little, too late. That was a bit much, Sophie. That's an old school question right there. Oy. I think you have to stick to your ground and say I'm not doing it. Yikes. Sophie is the like goody two shoes in class. It's like I know the answer. Ooh. Genuinely, just I'm terrible with names. Just say that. I don't think that's a good argument from Sage. I just don't think it works because she gave up control by doing that. Saying I needed to take Steven out because he was too big of a threat to win, but in order to do that, I had to completely give up control of the game. Just doesn't track. This is why I feel like Sophie. I feel like she's doing great. I think without just the knowledge is power thing is the only thing holding me back on this. On Final Tribal alone, I'm voting Sophie, but knowledge is power still holds me back. Sorry, Sage. This is not working for me. If I'm on that jury, I'm like, this is why I lost the game. This person. She definitely has Sophie's vote. That also was her best move. Accurate answer. I think Savannah has 3 locked in votes. Nate, Rizzo, Sophie. There are 8 jurors. Is it 8 or 9? Eight. Was there mention of the immunity record? Because I didn't hear it. Yeah. Okay, no is the answer. Does anyone say Survivor 50 in the next segment? I think 3 locked in votes for Savannah. You have Steven. Christina, I think, is a vote probably for Sophie over Sage. Jawan would obviously want to vote Sage, but we'll leave Jawan for now. Because he might not want to waste his vote. Because I don't think anyone's voting Sage. But he might just want to give her a vote. But if it matters, you know. Steven and MC then. Do they follow Christina? Steven's not going to necessarily be willing to go with Christina, considering they had a bit of a falling out by the end. Who knows where Sage is or MC is in all of it. It's hard to see. It's hard to see where Sophie wins. I mean, again, the big thing for me is that like she needed to address the knowledge is power. Maybe she did in the non-edited version, but like I never saw it be actually addressed in Final Tribal, and I just can't give my vote to somebody who misplayed that so poorly. I think 3 locked in votes when you only need 4 to hit a tie is going to be really difficult to beat. And if one of those votes goes to Sage, then it's even harder. Sophie only has 1 locked in vote, I think. And it's not even that locked in, but I think it's more anti-Savannah than anything else. I think Steven could vote Sophie. I feel like MC would lean Savannah. I think Christina does Sophie. Whose vote am I missing? Alex. Alex would lean Sophie, I think. So, okay, we have a little bit of a ball game here. If Alex and Steven and Christina all lean Sophie, then we have Jawan and MC. I think Jawan would lean Sophie if he doesn't vote Sage. So, okay. I mean, there's a shot here. But it requires a lot of juice. It means Steven has to be on board. She has to get Alex. We're back. To be clear, though, I think the edit has said Savannah for a long time. MC goes Sophie. She flipped her in Final Tribal. I agree with that sentiment. She... Oh. She didn't get Steven. Not getting Steve. I think it's over without Steven. I think that's it. Sage. Yeah, that's for sure done. She needed Steven and Juwan. Without one of them, she can't even tie, I don't think. Yeah, that was obviously a Savannah. I think it's over. I think Savannah has at least 4, and Sophie can't get to 4 without Juwan. Right. Steven was the person Sophie wrongly used the power on. I bet him and MC came in planning to vote Savannah because of the knowledge is power. Sophie managed to get MC back, but not Steven. And she needed both. Yeah. We heard Survivor 50, right? I think we just heard it. We didn't preview of what we're about to watch. We did hear Survivor 50. Prediction. Who is the first person shown in the 50 preview? Oh, I can't write all the names. Damn it. Okay, how about this? Is the first person shown in the 50? Okay. Man or woman first in 50 preview? That is the prediction. Is the first person shown in the preview a man or a woman? This is key. If they show a group photo, then it's the first individual person I see. First individual person I see. Meaning if they start with a large group of people and then eventually cut to a confessional and that's the first solo person, then that's the person I'm counting. If it's a group of women only, I will give it to the women. but not a group of men. uh, do we know what the total vote count was? Was it 5-2-1 or was it 4-3-1 or was it 4-2-2? No, I didn't see 2 Sage votes. Was it 2? 4-2-2? Or it was 5-2-1. Okay. So Jawan's one didn't matter. That's probably why he went that way. And it likely wouldn't have even, like, so basically, they went in there planning to vote for Savannah, is my guess. They were planning for probably a 6-1-1. One vote from Christina to Sophie, one vote from Jawan to Sage, something along those lines. And then Sophie picked up one from MC at Final Tribal. Which, I mean, again, I think that Sophie did a much better job at Final Tribal. I think her game as a whole was more socially and strategically impressive, except for the big, obvious thing, which was the knowledge is power play. We're back. Okay, so they did actually think they had, basically, Sophie talked her way into second place money, I think, firmly. Oh boy. People always fall for the merge name. All right, 20 more minutes. A few of those will be for Survivor 50. um the more I keep thinking about this, I think it's like I think that Sophie did not display enough um control throughout the game. We talked a little bit about like her indecision at times. Um I think which did not help the perception that she had in the game. Savannah is a very decisive person. She has a very confident personality. And I think that when you're looking at the two players, you are more likely to think that Savannah is the better player of the two just on instinct because of their personalities alone. In order to counteract that, as a Sophie, you need to be able to either take out the Savannahs or demonstrate that you are actually more powerful than them. And I do think she was more powerful in the game most of the time. Savannah was able to correctly identify a couple of the instances where she clearly displayed more power. But the perception throughout was that Sophie was playing the game for Savannah and Rizzo. And I think that the ultimate culmination of that, of course, is the knowledge is power. It's like it's hard for her to say I was actually playing my own game. I was actually more powerful when her biggest public display of power was a total and utter failure, and was in aid of the people that she's trying to claim she was more powerful than. Um, it's unfortunate because Sophie is played the kind of game that I would prefer to see rewarded more so than like winning immunities and such. But at the end of the day, if you play that kind of game, you need to make sure you're on point, and that play was just not on point, unfortunately. It's the same thing with like Ashley on Big Brother this season. Like if Ashley had made like a colossal public failure of a strategic move, it would have been much harder for her to claim what she did at the end of that game. Because the only evidence that you can actually point to is bad evidence. But instead, she was able to say, I was on point because she was. She didn't have a big failure like that. Her big moment when she did have power was to make the absolute correct decision. And it was cutthroat. Sophie, unfortunately, didn't have the same tools. If she had won a final 3 immunity and then been able to cut Savannah right then and there, maybe. But you can't rely on fire making as a move because it's such a weak move. You put people into fire, but then they decide who wins and who stays. So you don't ultimately have the say. We've seen that play out a bunch of times. People don't really count the fire making decision as a move most of the time. Keeping Christina, I think, would have really helped. I think you keep Christina, you're able to put her in fire against Savannah. The problem is, like, does Rizzo beat her too? Is that seen as a Rizzo move potentially? That's a tricky one. So I don't think it's quite as clear cut for Sophie. For Rizzo, I think, yeah, keeping Christina there was a no-brainer, seems like. And he had the full power to if he wanted to as well. Because he had the idol. But if Sophie takes that idol, potentially sends Rizzo out, gets the numbers against Steven, wins immunity, heads to the final 3 with some combination of Sage, Christina. maybe even Savannah at that point if she sneaks through. But like even then, it's like at that point, Sophie I think has eclipsed her in resume. And I think that a lot of those jury members were inclined to want to vote for Sophie and against Savannah. I think we saw that with how they flipped their votes at Final Tribal. Seemingly, Christina and MC both were like, "Oh, Final Tribal tipped me in favor of voting Sophie." I think if I think some of the other players there might have felt similarly if they had had a little more evidence prior to. All right, we're back. Did we just get a product placement for the wine they're drinking or champagne they're drinking? I think Savannah's extra vote and Rizzo's idol significantly changed the way those votes went down, even if they didn't end up actually officially working. He's still auditioning, Jeff. Why does it look like PB&J pizza? What is on that thing? I can't believe Alex didn't vote Sophie. That one's surprising to me. I think there's probably an argument to say that not having Alex on her side is another thing you could point to that could have changed the outcome. Because if the person who knows you best isn't vouching for you, it's hard. Basically all of Sophie's closest allies on the jury weren't votes for her. It's hard to say that you were like, I know it doesn't look like it from the outside, but I was actually playing really well. But all the people who saw it firsthand aren't agreeing. It's like, Before I tell you if Jake is still alive, can we talk about the fact that Sage is crying? I was trying to give you space, but this had to have come from somewhere, right? Jax Paul Kenneth Vladimir. Sucks that he had to get bit by a snake, but here we go. 50's coming. I think this is the final segment. I think this is our final stretch. Oh, look at the polar bears. Sorry, this is a New York stream only thing, I think. They showed some polar bears for a sec. Oops, I don't know why I unmuted. They should do a Survivor season in a winter climate. They'd just die, wouldn't they? I think you wouldn't like it because I think it's better to be hot and exhausted than like bundled up, cold and frigid. I think you're gonna get less emotion out of people if they're just like, so I think we have to vote out this other person. Survivor in the cold, I think, would be genuinely the experience that I'd be like, I'm actually out. I'm actually good. Starving, I can do that. I can do starving all day. Heat, I don't love, but I can deal with it. Bugs and dirtiness sucks, but I can get used to it. Cold? No. Why do you think I moved across to the opposite side of the country? It's funny too. I used to say cold didn't bother me when I was growing up. I'd go out in snow in shorts. I'd be like, whatever. I had a snowball fight in shorts once. Then at some point I realized, wait, I don't have to do this. Oh, I forgot about the votes. I'm one of those guys. I was one of those kids. I was like 8 years old. Give me a break. Who is it? Who we gonna see? Oh, Jonathan! I saw Jonathan first. I'm hearing Coach. Certainly a man. There's Colby. Colby, the first face we see as well. Very male-heavy entry. Why are we seeing photos of them? Christian! $20. Oh, like in total. Q! I love Q. Why did we just see Mr. Beast's coin? Wait, I actually don't know who that guy is. Christian! Wait, we're literally seeing Mr. Beast in this preview. Are we gonna see Savannah and Rizzo here? Be really funny. I guess not. They were in the group shots. How did we not get a spectacle made of the fact that Rizzo and Savannah are on? That's wild to me. Surely now. Wow, okay. That's really surprising to me. We saw a man. We saw a man. All right. Well, happy we got some Christian sighting. How do we feel about Mr. Beast being a part of Survivor? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, I know Mr. Beast isn't like beloved, but it's not like he's worse than CBS, right? Like, You know what I mean? Like in the realm of content creators, I feel like he doesn't have a great reputation, but in the world of like legacy media, um, I didn't see what was the Jimmy Fallon thing or the whatever the other guy's name. There were a bunch of name drops I didn't get. I mean, I got Jimmy Fallon, but like, was Jimmy Fallon there? I didn't see him. Billie Eilish boomerang. There was just a bunch of gibberish. I'm not gonna lie. It was just a bunch of gibberish to me. Um, I will tell you. This is what I will tell you. Because I can't make sense of all the gibberish. What I will tell you is I'm concerned. What I will tell you is I'm concerned about the future of Survivor and also about this guy's green screen because it's really bad. I'm concerned about the future of Survivor because I feel like they have had a string of a couple of seasons that are that have not landed well with the fan base. They've put everything into this like Survivor 50 spectacle that is already such a mess. And if it's jam packed with Jimmy Beasts, Jimmy Fallons, Jimmy Boomerangs, and Jimmy Eilishes, they're going to have trouble, I think. I think they kind of need this season to work. And if it doesn't, I fear for the show. I don't know if this is still happening, but there was definitely news earlier, a few weeks ago, that the ratings have been dropping throughout the season. Or maybe not throughout this. The ratings are, at the very least, ratings are down. Or we're going down. And that's especially concerning to me for Survivor in a time where Big Brother ratings this season were going up. If you've read my book, you know that's rare. There have only been a few small instances throughout the history of Big Brother where ratings have been going up. They went up when they from season 2 to season 4, the ratings were going up. And then they started going down, 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 down. Massive drop on season 9. And then back up again for a period starting from season 10 through about 14. Then dropped and have basically continued to drop ever since until season 27, when all of a sudden the ratings are back up. That's massive. And I think it speaks to the state of reality television at the moment, with shows like Love Island, as Ash is pointing out in the chat, shows like The Traitors. There are a lot of reality fans who are hungry for content. And the fact that they're not eating up Survivor, which was part of the initial boom of the renaissance of reality. During COVID, Survivor blossomed. People were watching it on Netflix. It became more mainstream. If you ask people like Jimmy Beast about a reality show, he'll talk about Survivor. He knows nothing about Big Brother, even though Big Brother is a lot more similar to this type of stuff he does. And that's because a lot of these content creators, a lot of these people in the content space got familiar with Survivor during the COVID era. It was a big boom. And it should be leading the pack right now. It should be at the very least like the titan of the legacy media. Legacy reality shows. It still kind of is, but the fact that it is not experiencing the same ratings boom as the rest of the shows is concerning. So I do think there's a problem. I think there's a problem that they need to address. And maybe their solution is we need to reach out to that audience instead of pleasing our hardcore audience. But I don't know that I agree, because we just saw Big Brother succeed by more closely aligning with its hardcore audience, bringing in Rachel Riley, shifting the competitions at least enough to make it a little more interesting, while still maintaining some level of like appeal to newer viewers. I think that Survivor is a show that has a great appeal for new viewers, because it's respectable, it's mainstream, it's an interesting concept, but they muddy the works so much with the new era of like all of these weird elements and advantages, and I think most key is long-term storytelling. I've talked about this endlessly, so I won't go on too much, but I think their biggest failure is in their editing and their long-term storytelling. I think that Survivor right now cares more about having big emotional sob story moments that pop, that can go on social media. They want that Joe and Eva moment because it did blow up. It did become viral on social media. But like, how much did it translate to actual ratings? How much did it bring people back for 49? It didn't seem to, even though it blew up elsewhere. And so they care more about those things instead of telling the story of their actual show. And so we get lost. I think there were some really great stories that could have been told this season on Survivor, but we got so mushed in the details of like every single thing needs to be in service of a moment here, a moment here. And so, listen, I'm sure there's plenty of other potential reasons for the show struggling, but and maybe it's not even struggling as much as it might indicate. Maybe it was just an off season or whatever. But I've never been this concerned for Survivor's longevity. Survivor has always been the better performer. You know, it's always been the star child from its very inception. It has always been the one that's has been like the CBS flagship, and it's strange to watch it falter like it is at the moment. Anyway, that's what we got. A couple of things. Patreon. Check out the Patreon in the off season of Survivor. I will be back for season 50, of course. But in the meantime, you can check out, I've got a huge backlog of shows that I've reacted to in this format, but even better format, because you can actually see the show. I've been watching The Genius season 1 and 2. Those are my old show. That's my old show that I'm watching, but I've also been watching Traders UK, Traders Canada, Traders US coming very soon. We've got shows like Squid Game, Jet Lag, Physical Asia, all kinds of stuff. Not to mention the book club. If you read the book, or if you didn't, if you want to read it, you want to read it with me, we're doing a chapter every session. We've been doing about 2 per week, generally Tuesdays and Fridays. So the next one will be Friday. We'll talk about chapter 4. And then yes, we will at some point do movie nights. I promise. We'll do some more movie nights. Legally Blonde was very fun. And then also, I would like to do some other stuff there as well, especially around writing, but we'll see. That's a longer term project. Either way, it is a phenomenal place to support my content in general. So I'm very grateful to anyone that goes over there to, even if you're just tossing a few bucks in to support what I do. Very much appreciate it. And it genuinely helping me sort of focus on the stuff that I enjoy making. So yeah, very much appreciated. Of course, I do appreciate any support from any platform or method in general, even if you're just watching along. I appreciate you being here and caring about what I do. So thank you all so much. Glad we got through the season. I apologize if I was ever too negative, but you know, it was a little bit of a rough one for me. I think especially because there were so many other shows that I was enjoying. But the thing is, I'm never gonna lie to you. I'm never gonna pretend to enjoy something I don't enjoy. I will try my best to not be too much of a downer when I can help it. But that's where we're at. Thank you again so much. I'll see you maybe over on the Patreon. I don't know. See you later.